listening to Marshfield Tiger football on AM 1450 WDLB Marshfield and on WDLB WOSQ.com. Sam Gershman producing our broadcast this evening. Along with Dale Yukaitis, I'm Gene Delisio reporting from Steam Stadium in Schofield, the Tigers and DCE Everest this evening. During our broadcast tonight, we'll also highlight the drive of the game, and that's a service of the Driver Education Academy of Marshfield, supporting champion athletes and developing champion drivers for a lifetime of crash-free driving. Tigers out already. They're in their white jerseys with black pants. Everest in their green jerseys with gold pants. And Marshfield will be kicking off. And Sully Lipke, who did the kicking duties last week in the absence of Gus Utek, will be kicking off in this ball game. We do think that Gus is back with the ball club, and he may be place kicking tonight, but Sully might be handling the kickoff duties this evening.
I understand that Everest has a very fast player as one of their skilled players tonight, this Corey Griffin, quite a speedster.
Yeah, Corey Griffin, who was at the state tournament, state meet last year in the 100-meter dash, and he certainly is a guy the Tigers will be watching tonight. He will be back deep for DCE Everest along with Sam Joswiak.
Always seems like Everest has that one guy who's just that he can really fly, and they put him out there wide as a wide receiver, and he's just a constant threat, not only in pass patterns but in special teams. And Gene, we're ready to kick this one off.
And Sully Lipke kicking off for the Tigers. The kick is away, end over end kick, not real deep. Joswiak on the 8, up the near sideline to the 20. Now reverses his field, gets outside for some yardage across the 25. He comes over, knocks him down right around the 40-yard line. Nice return for Joswiak and good field position for DCE Everest.
Well, again, we've seen it a couple times so far from the Tigers this year. The persons who are supposed to be on the outside on kickoff coverage and not lose that contain, that's your number one responsibility as an end guy. We saw Marshfield returners or kick defense team there getting sucked inside and giving up the outside. That puts Everest in great field position against the wind. You would have hoped to be able to pin them back. There's some confusion going on in the Everest sidelines. They're short a guy.
Yeah, Everest rushing a player out quickly to play on this first offensive play.
And the officials are already counting down his last 5 seconds. There it is. Delay a game.
The Evergreens open with only 10 men on the field.
Wow.
And consequently somebody, here comes another player on the field. One of the tight ends, Austin Waldvogel, apparently was not out there to begin play. And so the Evergreens put the ball in play at their own 35-yard line. Everest quarterback by junior Luke Heller. He's a big guy, 6'6", 205, and so far this year he's completing 48% of his passes for 553 yards, 6 touchdowns with 2 interceptions. Wide out near side on first down. The handoff goes to Conhorst. He goes nowhere. He stood up by several Tigers and pushed back. Zillman and Peterson, Lysecki, all there on that tackle. Good job by the Tiger defense. And Conhorst stopped for virtually no gain.
Everest plays this split back veer type offense. They're going to hand the ball off to their wide halfbacks. They line up in a rather wide formation and hope they can get double team blocks and break a seam off tackle.
Corey Griffin, very dangerous, wide near side. 2nd and 15. Straight ahead, here comes, that's a second man through. That's Sam Meyer straight ahead for about 2 yards to the 37. But about a 2-yard gain, maybe a yard and a half on that play.
And he ran into his own blocker that got stuffed into the backfield by a defensive lineman for the Tigers, and I believe that was Ben Wartella who did a nice job there.
It's 3rd and 13 for Everest at their own 37. Wide out on the near side, that's Esser. And Heller back to pass, looking, throws to the near sideline. Esser is out there, the ball's knocked down. Good play by a Tiger defensive back who kept himself in front of Esser. That was Dan Kinich, who kept himself in front of the intended receiver, knocked the ball down, and Esser kind of climbed his back to try to prevent a pass interception.
Well, he did. The ball hung up, as you would expect against this wind, and Marshfield could have fair caught that ball. And give credit to the Everest receiver, but he climbed all over. That should have been offensive pass interference.
Joe Rose punting for DCE Everest. A high kick, but not very deep.
Wow.
Bounces inside the 45, goes sideways, and is down by the Evergreens at the Marshfield 43-yard line.
That ball went straight up in the air, and it's going to be, trying to count off the yards
about
here.
A 20-yard punt.
I was going to say 19, 20 yards on that punt. And it was a high punt, and it just went up the elevator shaft and almost got blown backwards.
So Tiger football on their own 43, just underway, 90 seconds into this contest. No score. Tigers led out by quarterback Chris Steeman, who opens in a shotgun. Brad Dolezal next to him. Wide receivers on either side and a double tight end set. Steeman gets the snap on first down. He's being rushed and now gets hit as he tries to throw the ball. Lost possession, and the Evergreens will have the football inside the 35-yard line.
Well, Marshfield was trying to run 3 vertical routes. They were trying to go deep on the very first play, and Steeman had pretty good protection, but he held the ball, and finally got hit from behind and hit hard and coughed up the ball.
And Josh Martushak recovers the fumble. So the Tigers fumble on their very first play from scrimmage, and DCE Everest has the ball at the Tiger 35-yard line. No score, but here's DCE Everest with the first break of the contest. Heller at quarterback on first down. Myers runs into his own man and gets about 1 yard. A good job, I think that was Kendall Lysecki, who really defeated his blocker, forced a big pileup there, and Myers had no place to go.
Yeah, Lysecki was one of them, but right now Marshfield's doing very well in the front line defensively against this offensive line.
Yeah.
That's a good sign, because in the past, Everest has had some big boys up there that have really gashed some big holes.
2nd and 9 for the Evergreens, the Tiger 33. Esser comes wide to the near side. Cohnhorst running back behind Heller. And Heller looks to throw, quick slant near side, over Esser's head, incomplete. The wind, I think, really took that one. It bounced off his hands and almost was available for an interception by Dan Knitsch on the deflection.
Yeah, Coach Steffenhagen not too happy with his receiver there, but frankly that ball was behind the receiver, and he was lucky to get his hands on that one. In fact, that could have been picked off by a Marshfield player. So we've seen 3 instances already, 2 passes and a punt, where the wind is definitely showing its face in this ball game.
Tigers get John Bogotke in there to play the nose in place of Ben Wartilla. He played very well last week. It's 3rd and 9. Heller on the handoff, but a flag down before the snap.
Official on this side over here, line judge, tossing his flag way up into the air, so that means somebody's not lined up correctly.
Offside against Everest.
Oh, offensively. You don't usually see them make those kinds of plays. They don't run a really complicated, sophisticated offense.
So the ball goes back to the 38. It'll be 3rd and about 14 for DCE Everest. Luke Heller, the quarterback, 6'6", 205. Last year, Sam Joswiak was the quarterback, and Joswiak now stationed at running back, a part-time running back for this ball club. He lost a job to Heller.
Huge play here early in this ball game.
Esser to the far side, tight formation. Cohnhorst wing on the far side. On 3rd and 14, Heller back to pass, looking back to the near side. A screen pass that is broken up by Stanley, and then the tackle finally made along the near sideline by Arendt, back at the 39-yard line. Stanley got there and got his hands on the ball carrier, and then Arendt wrapped him up back at the 38. It's a loss of 1 yard. In fact, no gain on that quick screen pass to the near sideline to Corey Griffin. Gain of 0. 4th and 14 for the Evergreens, and Rose is punting. He kicks a line drive over Lipke's head, bounces out of bounds right around the 14-yard line. We'll see where they put it officially. Now he's moving it inside the 10 and moving it back out again to the 14. Should stay there in the first place.
Well, Marshfield's defense was the stronger of the units for Marshfield last week and stopped Wausau West a number of times. Again, they hold Marshfield 1st and 10, but deep in their own territory.
9:09 remaining, first quarter, no score. Tigers fumbled on their first play from scrimmage on their first possession. High backfield behind Steeman on first down. It's Dolezal trying to get outside, turns the corner, across the 15, fumbles the ball out of bounds, but he gains yardage to the 17-yard line. Good job by Dolezal. The middle was was clogged up. He went outside and gained about 8 yards on the play.
Very rare to see a fullback to have that kind of lateral quickness to be able to take a ball that's supposed to be a trap between the guards, and that was plugged up, and he bounced it all the way out to the right side and got 8.
Dolezal with 8 yards, 2nd and 2 for the Tigers at their own 22. Dolezal the only setback. Double tight ends and wideouts on both sides. Ashbeck at quarterback. And Elliott hands to Dolezal again, has a seam out across the 23 to near the first down marker. We'll see what kind of spot he gets here. Looks like just shy of the 24. He may be a half yard shy of the first down. Officials looking at it closely, and now they do say it's 3rd and about a foot. 3rd and less than 1 for the Tigers at their own 24. Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye behind Steeman. Padron and Lysecki the wide receivers. Steeman will turn. He gives to Van Tassel straight ahead for a big gain across the 35-yard line. At the 36, he's pushed down. Van Tassel straight ahead gets about 12 yards for a Tiger first down.
Boy, Marshfield's offensive line getting off the ball, and so far the defensive fronts, the defensive line and offensive line for Marshfield are ruling the day here. They're stronger of the two units on the field.
1st and 10 Tigers at their own 36. No score. 8:09 remaining, first quarter. Wide receivers on either side. Dolezal in the backfield. Ashbeck takes the handoff, being rushed, and he's going to go down in the backfield. There's also a flag down. 2 tacklers came in uncontested on Ashbeck and knock him down back at the 27, but there's also a flag down on the play. If that play stands, the Tigers lose 9 yards. Illegal shift against Marshfield. Our post-game report this evening, sponsored by Hudson's Classic Grill, next to the tracks on North Central Avenue in Marshfield, the sports fans' post-game discussion destination. Penalty is declined, and the Evergreens record their first quarterback sack of the night. It's a loss of 9. Ball's back at the 27-yard line, 2nd and 19 for Marshfield. Steeman back in, Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye. Wideouts on both sides. Rollins the tight end on the near side. Steeman looking to pass it to draw play to Van Tassel. Not much there, though. In fact, that's Tarnowski. It's Tarnowski at tailback on that play. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no further. About half a yard play for Cody Tarnowski.
I realize it's a draw play, and the linemen are going to slow block that a little bit, but just way too much standing around that time by the Marshfield offensive linemen. And Everest has also been running some blitzes here.
3rd and 18 for Marshfield at their own 28. 2 receivers near side, and Littman flanked on the far side. Ashbeck in the shotgun.
Here comes the blitz.
Elliott gets the snap, throws quickly to the far sideline, but dropped by Littman. Pass is ruled incomplete. He thought it might be a lateral, so he fell on the football. But the official right there rules incomplete pass and a 4th and long for the Tigers.
Might have had some running rooms out there. He did have a receiver blocker in front of him. Everest came with 8 people that time. Front 5 guys and also some blitzes. Could have been some running room for Littman if he hangs on to it.
Sully Lipke punting for the Tigers at his 15-yard line. High snap, he pulls it in. The kick is away. It's a good kick, a boomer, and it goes all the way back inside the 10, inside the 5, and Esser grabs it inside the end zone, comes out across the 5 to about the 8-yard line. And plenty of flags flying here.
And we've got flags thrown from both sidelines from a long distance away.
Esser did have to retreat into the end zone to grab that football.
A 72-yard punt.
Man.
I don't know what this penalty could be here.
Holding against DCE Everest.
I was going to say there were a lot of green shirts around the area, so that'll take them back half the distance on top of that.
Well,
so
I guess the wind was blowing that way.
Yeah. Well, plus he got it up in a spiral, the perfect spiral. It looked like Aaron Rodgers firing the ball downfield on a Hail Mary pass.
Well, the officials marking the ball on the hold at the Everest 4-yard line.
You know, I was going to say Brett Favre there, but I just don't want to go there.
So the ball's back at the 4-yard line, 6:50 remaining in the opening quarter. No score following a 72-yard punt by Sully Lipke. The Evergreens put the ball in play deep in their own territory.
Boy, Marshfield with a lot of defenders within about 6 yards of the line of scrimmage here.
Cohnhorst and Myers in the backfield behind Heller. The chains are still being set on the far sideline.
And they had to come from the 28 on the other end. They're out of breath.
Yeah, they're driven over. 1st and 10 from the 4. Heller gives off to Myers, getting outside with some room across the 10, the 15, and running out of bounds across the 25-yard line.
Twice now Marshfield has found themselves in great field position. Once their first series about their own 40-yard line, they fumble the first play and lose it to Everest. Now they have Everest trapped and they lose outside contain again and let them out of the hole.
And that's a 25-yard gain for Myers. Stanley makes the tackle. 1st and 10 Everest at their own 29-yard line.
Stanley made that from behind after getting caught inside.
Heller keeps the ball on the ground, hands off this time to Cohnhorst, cuts back inside to the 35-yard line and drags tacklers with him to the 37. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down. Peterson makes the tackle on that play after a gain of 8.
Didn't see who that was for Marshfield, but somebody blew into the backfield and had a chance to tackle Cohnhorst for about a 3-yard loss. But his attempted tackles, he slid right down the legs of that running back and allowed the gain.
It's 2nd and 2 for Everest at their own 37. Both Myers and Cohnhorst have had one 100-yard rushing game this year. They're both quite capable. Tight formation, split backfield. Heller will hand off again. This is Myers to the 40-yard line and pushed back there.
Everest going with an unbalanced line there with only 2 blockers to the left side and a wingback, along with 4 blockers on the right side, and good job at the point of attack there. Marshfield forcing him to cut back right into defense.
And that run by Myers gives Everest a first down just across their own 40-yard line, halfway through the first quarter, and there is no score in this ball game here at Steam Stadium. Esser going wide to the far side. Griffin is a wing on the far side, split backfield. Heller hands off again to Myers. He'll fight his way to the 42 and stop right there.
Ben Wartella doing a very nice job tonight. That's the second time I've seen him slant off the nose and get in on the play. So Everest center right now has his hands full.
2nd and 8 for Everest at their own 42. Tigers have made some changes in the defensive line tonight. Alex Arndt starting at tackle and Kendall Lysecki starting at defensive end. Tight formation again. Myers getting outside on that sweep once again to midfield. Turns it up to the 45 of Marshfield and decked by Stanley right there. He'll be put down on the Marshfield 44-yard line, but another nice run for DC Everest. Gain of 14, a first down for the Evergreens at the Tiger 44.
Well, right now, Marshfield's getting outflanked just by defensive formation. They've got, Everest has come out twice now with the slot formation. The previous play, they were a tight formation, but the one before that, there was a slot, and Marshfield had no extra guy over there on the slot. That time, Everest came back to it. We had nobody there.
2 tight ends, wide out far side. That's Griffin. Handoff goes to Cohnhorst straight ahead. He's collared from behind by Wartella and gains only 1, maybe 2 yards on the play. Looks like Sternweiss helps out as well. 1 yard gain on that carry. Another nice job by Wartella. That defensive line again tonight is Kendall Lysecki and Trevor Peterson on the ends. Alex Arndt and Mike Shara, the defensive tackles. Ben Wartella, the newsman. And we're also seeing John Bagotke at nose from time to time as well.
Right now, Marshfield really holding their own on the inside.
2nd down play, and here's Myers outside again. Turns that corner. He's at the 35, down the sideline. Lipke trying to grab him. He does, and throws him out of bounds inside the 5.
Same type of play, this time from a wing. Marshfield really stacked up on the inside, and Everest has come out with a wing back to the right side. We don't have the extra man out there defensively.
And they'll mark him out of bounds at the 7-yard line, a gain of 36.
We're just getting caved in just formation-wise. There's got to be some sort of a defensive adjustment made here.
It's a first down play now, 1st and goal for Everest at the Tiger 7. They've driven from their own 4 to the Tiger 7 in 7 plays. No score, 3:55 remaining, first quarter. Handoff goes to Myers again to the outside and stopped at the 6-yard line. A couple of Tigers come up and make that play. And I think the principal guy there was Lysecki once again. He gets there along with some help from Ross Zillman. About 1 yard, maybe 2 on the carry. Second and goal for the Evergreens at the Tiger 5-yard line. This drive has been exclusively on the ground. Split backfield behind Heller once again. Griffin wide to the near side. Heller hands it straight ahead to Conehorst to the 3, then gets pushed back. Sully Lipke pushing him back. Alex Arndt on that tackle as well. And I think Sternweiss stepped in there, helped out. A couple of other players. And they'll mark the ball right on the 3-yard line. Gain of 2, third and goal for the Evergreens at the Tiger 3-yard line. This is the 10th play in this drive, which began on the Everest 4-yard line after a 72-yard punt by Sully Lipke.
Well, let's see if they give Lysecki some help as a defensive end out there on that defensive left side. Here comes that formation again.
Wing on the far side, split backfield, handoff goes to nobody. Heller keeps the ball coming to the near sideline. He gets hit by Peterson and spun down back at the 6-yard line. Another fine play by Trevor Peterson. We've seen him make some big plays in open space, and he makes another one right there.
Everest trying to get tricky. They went with an unbalanced line and a wingback again, a power formation to the right, and they tried to run a naked quarterback bootleg, but Gene, it doesn't look to me like Heller has the best wheels in the whole world. He's a big kid. 6'5", 210 pounds, but he's not real fleet of foot.
Matt Hansen has 2 field goals this year, 25 and 28 yards. A 23-yard attempt here. Ball is down, kick is away, and the kick is good. A 23-yard field goal by Matt Hansen puts DCE Everest on the scoreboard. Our score, a service of the Sports Den in Marshfield. 1:57 remaining in the opening quarter. It's DCE Everest 3 and the Marshfield Tigers nothing. We'll return with more football in just a moment.
So you're the new girl.
Yes.
That's cute.
Go on in. Mr. Felsnikoff, thank you for overlooking my credit score. I was in college and I charged up a whole bunch of things that I really couldn't afford. Who knew employers checked that?
Hey kid, I don't credit check you. You don't credit check me. Capiche? And sometimes it floods in here. You might want to start wearing boots.
Potential employers can check your credit. Don't let your bad credit put you in a bad job.
Matt Hansen kicking off for DCE Everest. Van Tassel and Lysecki back deep. Here's a ground ball down the middle to the 15-yard line, picked up by Lysecki, coming near side across the 30, out to about the 34, and knocked down right there. Pretty good field position for the Tigers for their third possession of the evening.
Well, so far it doesn't look to me like this is an Everest team that is overpowering us physically. In fact, we've dropped the ball on the ground, lost a fumble. We've had a key penalty after gaining some positive yardage that put ourselves in a 1st and 20. We've got some defensive adjustments to make. We just got to get it together here.
1st and 10 Tigers at their own 35. I backfield, Steeman at quarterback, gives to Van Tassel. Not much there, gets clogged up and stopped at the line of scrimmage. A couple of players run him down from behind, led by Ryan Tesh, one of the defensive linemen, and Van Tassel gets no gain on the play.
Good job at the point of attack on the left defensive side from Everest. They stacked up our blockers, and that allowed the chase people who were pulling guards from the backside to haul it down, but we've got to open the hole at the point of attack, and that backside pursuit can't get there.
Now a 2nd and 10 for Marshfield at their own 35. Lysecki to the far side, Padron and Littman to the near side. Ashbeck in the shotgun, Van Tassel next to him, and a flag goes down. Maybe a time violation, looks like it is.
Another mistake, delay a game.
Delay of game on Marshfield. The ball goes back to the 30. It will be 2nd and 15.
Well, in 1 minute and 7 seconds, the wind's going to change around because that'll be the end of the first quarter.
And the Tigers are going with a strong wind here in the first period. They'll have to play against that in quarter number 2.
And have not completed a pass thus far, although sometimes with this strong wind, it's hard to throw with it as well.
Ball's on the 30-yard line, 2nd and 15. Van Tassel in the backfield, 2 tight ends, and a double flanker set. Steeman throws far side, tipped away from Van Tassel, and it looks like it might be intercepted. A diving catch by a defensive back. That's Joe Rose, who caught that interception on a deflection after it went through Lysecki's hands. He then went down immediately, but the Evergreens get the ball back inside the Marshfield 40-yard line. And the Tigers suffer their second turnover of the first quarter. Everest football on the Tiger 39-yard line, 1:02 remaining in the first period. The Evergreens on top, 3-0. And now they get their second takeaway of this first period. Wideouts on both sides. Heller on the draw, and not much for Meyer, stopped after a 1-yard gain. Alex Arndt right there to make that hit after a short gain by Myers.
Good job that time again by the interior of the Tigers defensive line, sniffing out that draw play and not allowing Meyer to get loose.
2nd and 9 for the Evergreens at the Marshfield 38. Tiger defense made some big stands last week against Wausau West, and they have to do that again tonight. Split backfield, wing to the near side, and Heller will hand off to Myers, and a good job by a Tiger defensive lineman. That's Arndt, I believe, and Peterson there as well, as they fight off their blocks and stop Myers for no gain.
What a job by Peterson, Gene. He had 2 guys coming out to block him. He dipped his inside shoulder, got through the double team, and single-handedly destroyed that play.
Now Marshfield's taking a timeout. Marshfield takes timeout because they would like to see the Evergreens lose possession while they still are kicking against the wind or don't have that wind to aid them with a field goal. So timeout is called on the field. We're in the final minute of play here in the first quarter, and Marshfield trails in this ball game 3-0. By the way, our extra points tonight sponsored by Wheelers of Marshfield. If you need an extra car, see their line of great certified used vehicles at Wheelers on Marshfield's south side.
So even the timeouts are predicated upon wind conditions tonight. Very interesting with a 3rd down situation here.
The 3rd and 10 for DC Everest at the Marshfield 39-yard line. Corey Griffin comes back in, the speedy wide receiver, returns to action. Replacing tight end Brandon Lamping, who goes 6'4", 230. Conference breaks up, and we're set to resume play. 3rd and 10 for the Evergreens at the Tiger 39-yard line. Griffin to the far side. Esser wide near side. Myers in the backfield behind Heller. And Heller wants to throw. Quick slant is over Esser's head at the 25-yard line, incomplete.
If he'd have caught that, he'd have been the green in a white Oreo sandwich there. The 2 Tiger defenders with their white jersey on surrounding him. That would have been quite a collision, but it was well overthrown.
So the punter Joe Rose back on the field. 4th and 10 for the Evergreens at the Marshfield 39. 14 seconds remaining in the period, and Rose will punt from midfield against the wind.
Sometimes snapping it with the wind, you throw one high. Good snap.
Good snap. And the kick by Rose. He boots one down the middle, and it bounces inside the 5-yard line, goes sideways back to the 6, and is down right there.
Marshfield putting nobody back and hoping that the wind was going to help them there on that play, but also not quite sure that Everest wasn't going to fake on that play with good field position.
Just 4 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Tigers have the ball on their own 5-yard line. Time to run one more play before this period ends, and the Tigers will put the ball in play once again from their own 5. Chris Steeman at quarterback. Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye. Wideouts on both sides. And Steeman to Dolezal, straight ahead across the 10 to the 11. Gain of 6, and that play will end the first quarter football here at Steam Stadium in Schofield. Our first quarter score, a service of the Sports Den of Marshfield. It's DC Everest 3 and the Marshfield Tigers nothing. We'll return with second quarter action in just a moment.
weightless. My heart races. I'm floating away. And when it's over, all I think about is doing it again.
Michael Swan is under the influence of his volunteer swim coach. By spending time coaching, he helps Michael stay off the street and off drugs. Be a coach, a mentor, a volunteer, because you have something to offer.
Once they've outgrown their toddler seat, they're still not ready for adult safety belts alone. 4'9" is the magic number. Until then, kids need a booster seat. Make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely. Visit boosterseat.gov.
Tigers down 3-0 as we start the second quarter here at Steam Stadium. 2nd and 4 for the Tigers at their own 11-yard line. Elliot Ashbeck playing quarterback. Ian Padron and Jake Lysecki, the wide receivers. As the band finishes up, now he gets set for action. Van Tassel in the backfield behind Ashbeck. TJ gets the handoff, heading to the near sideline, looking for a hole, not much there. And he'll be forced out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. He might actually lose a yard on that run.
Well, so much for the effect of the wind in the first quarter. With the wind at the Tigers' back, they had 18 yards of offense, all of that rushing. Everest has 114.
Van Tassel lost 2 on the play. 3rd and 6 for the Tigers at their own 9. Lysecki near side. Padron on the far side. Dolezal and Van Tassel behind Steeman. Tyler Rollins, tight end, on the far side. Line is down. Steeman will throw to the far sideline, almost intercepted, as Padron was the receiver on that play, and Josh Humphrey jumped in front to attempt to intercept, but the ball went over the head of both players. It's an incomplete pass and a 4th down.
Well, Everest has shown they're going to try to jump our short slant patterns, and they're going to jump our short stop patterns as well, so it's going to be just a matter of time before Marshfield's going to fake one of those and try to go up on top. That now we'll see what Lipke can do, punting the ball against this wind. He'll be kicking in midway in his own end zone.
Sully punting from the end zone. Brent Esser back in deep safety, but only at the Marshfield 40-yard line. Tough punting conditions here. Good snap back to Lipke. He kicks one out of there sideways down the near sideline and out of bounds across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. So the Evergreens put the ball in play at the Marshfield 37-yard line early in the second quarter, and Marshfield trailing DCE Everest 3-0. Have a great car in the game for you tonight. 2010 Chevrolet Traverse, priced nearly $2,500 below the Blue Book price at Gross Motors on North Central Avenue in Marshfield. A great priced, low mileage car with lots of features. You can see that tomorrow at Gross Motors in Marshfield. On first down, the handoff goes to Myers again to the outside to the 30-yard line and fights his way down to the 27 and stopped there by Logan Schmitz. Very close to a first down with that run. Now Mark Myers down at the 28. He'll gain 9 on that play.
We're going to need some help on our left defensive side once again, lining up with a tight end and a wingback, and to me it just looks like we're short a man defensively against that type of play.
Looks like we may have a measurement here. Once again, that great car from Gross Motors, 2010 Chevrolet Traverse. It has 8-way power seats, CD MP3 player, power door locks and windows, premium cloth seats, a driver information center, keyless entry, traction control, and much more. You can see that car tomorrow at Gross Motors on North Central Avenue in Marshfield.
Talking about that formation, now Marshfield has a defensive end, whether it's Peterson or Lysecki, and for the most part they've been running Lysecki's way, and he is lined up on the tight end, which means he has a wingback outside of him. There is a cornerback out there from Marshfield, but he's playing about 6 yards outside and 3 or 4 yards off the ball. And right now, Marshfield just not adjusting to that strength of the Everest formation.
Well, the Evergreens are a few inches shy of the first down marker, so they'll have a second and inches. at the Marshfield 27-yard line. Chains are being reset. You're listening to Marshfield Tiger football on AM 1450 WDLB Marshfield and on WDLB-WOSQ.com. Our producer is Sam Gershman. With Delia Kitis, I'm Gene Delisio at Steam Stadium in Marshfield this evening.
Now keep in mind, as I talk about a defensive adjustment here for Marshfield, it's not a given that the defensive players are lining up correctly too. So it may not be a coaching situation. It may be something that the players just aren't doing, lining up correctly defensively.
Myers and Joswiak in the backfield. Handoff goes to Myers to the outside for the first down. He gets tripped up by Lysecki at the line of scrimmage and falls forward inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line. But that will be a first down for DCE Everest. Tigers impressed with the work of Kendall Lysecki at defensive end in recent weeks, so they've taken Alex Arndt, who was the original starter at that defensive end spot, moved him to defensive tackle tonight, and Lysecki gets the call at defensive end. 1st and 10 Evergreens at the Marshfield 22-yard line. Tight formation again, straight ahead Myers going nowhere. Arndt grabs him and flings him down at the line of scrimmage. Alex Arndt looks like he's fitting in a defensive tackle very well.
Nice play there. Everest has a tendency with their split backs to, the quarterback will come out and he will sprint down the line to his left or right and hand off to a halfback who usually goes straight ahead. But every once in a while they'll change it up and they'll want to run a quick trap right over the center. That time Marshfield was ready for it and stood him up.
Second down now for the Evergreens, 2nd and 10 at the Tiger 22-yard line. Cohnhorst and Joswiak in the split backfield. Lamping the tight end near side. Handoff goes to Joswiak, tripped up in the backfield by linebacker Justin Sternweiss.
Yep.
Caught him from behind, and Sternweiss makes a big play back at the 23, a loss of 1.
We were talking about that kind of a play, Gene, on the way over here today, about what you do against teams that run strong off tackle and try to really clobber your defensive end, and sometimes that inside pursuit or blitz from behind can be very effective, and that time Sternweiss finding a nice lane to get through and making the shoestring tackle.
Well, with Hazeroad out, Sternweiss becomes kind of the leader on that defensive
really
ball club. 2 receivers on the far side, 3rd and 11 from the 23. Heller rolling to the far side, looking to throw. He stops, flings it to the far sideline, incomplete. Good coverage by Sternweiss on Cohnhorst at the 20-yard line along the far sideline. And a heavy rush also by a Tiger defensive lineman on that play.
Once again, we saw Heller in a rollout type of a situation there, and he is not real fleet of foot. He's a big kid. Does not run real fast.
So Matt Hansen has a 23-yard field goal earlier tonight against the wind. He'll try a 40-yarder with the wind. He has 3 field goals now this season. Good snap. Ball is down. Kick is away. Kick is fading, and the kick is no good, wide to the near side.
Yep.
Hansen misses the field goal try with the wind from 40 yards away. And so the Tiger defense withstands the Everest pressure once again. Marshfield gets the football back on their own 20-yard line, trailing 3-0 with 9:45 remaining in the first half.
Marshfield has just got to find a seam and just to pop Van Tassel for one big run up there and turn this field position around. So far, Everest and Marshfield defensive lines have played good football on both sides.
Steam and a quarterback. Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye. Wide receivers on both sides on first down. Dolezal straight ahead across the 25, the 30. He's in the secondary. Dolezal at midfield, the far sideline, and caught from behind inside the 30-yard line. A big gainer by Brad Dolezal straight ahead to turn around that field position.
Both teams have been playing very close to the line of scrimmage, and all you have to do is just pop one for about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and you're going to be running for a while, and that's exactly what happened there. Nice trap play. Everest now giving up the big yardage.
52 yards on that run for Dolezal. A first down for Marshfield at the Everest 28-yard line. Ashbeck at quarterback, I formation. It's Dolezal again straight ahead. Not much this time, maybe 1 yard. Once again, those linemen doing a great job for the Marshfield Tigers tonight. Cody Schmidt and James Bailey are the tackles. Mark Posh and Brandon Sukamel the guards. and Trevor Barth, the center, and that group is saluted by the hardworking linemen of Marshfield Utilities, because it's the linemen who help supply the power to make it all work.
Now Dolezal does pick up about a yard and a half with a good plunge there, despite no blocking.
2nd and 8 for the Tigers at the Everest 27-yard line. Handoff goes to Van Tassel, cuts back and almost broke that one. Had one man to beat along that defensive line, couldn't get out of his clutches, and goes down on the 24-yard line, a gain of 2 more.
Sometimes TJ on contact runs real hard and picks up that every extra yard or 2 falling down. Sometimes gives up a little too easy on contact.
3rd and about 6 for the Tigers at the Everest 24. Steeman in the shotgun, Van Tassel behind him. Littman comes through in motion, fake handoff. Ashbeck will throw to the far sideline, a screen to Rollins at the 20-yard line, breaks a tackle. 15, the 10, the 5, and Tyler Rollins in the end zone for the touchdown on a tight end middle screen.
What a call there, and I was just about ready to go, oh no, because there was one man who could potentially stop that play, because Marshfield had 5 blockers in front of Rollins right up the middle of the field. That man got there. The offensive line missed him, but he missed the tackle on Rollins. Rollins broke the tackle and sprinted to the end zone.
Elliot Ashbeck's first touchdown pass of the year and the first touchdown reception in Tyler Rollins' career, a 24-yarder. Sully Lipke will attempt to kick the PAT. Ball is down. Kick is away long enough. This kick is up, and it is good. So Tyler Rollins with his 5th catch of the year. He had 4 catches last year, did not catch a touchdown pass, and gets his first one this evening. And that PAT is service of Wheelers of Marshfield. Make it a point to see them for an oil change every 3,000 miles. Now 8:14 remaining in the first half. Our score is Marshfield 7, DCE Everest 3. We'll return with more football in just a moment.
Mrs. Johnson, good to see you again. This is Mike. You can trust him. He looks just like you.
I'll be sucking up to you in order to make you sign the loan.
So, here are your low monthly payments and interest rate as we promised. Here's where they triple. The rest of this is really just here so that we get your house when you can't pay us back.
Such a lovely house.
Predatory lenders are never this easy to spot. Call us and protect yourself with the facts.
Tigers now have their first lead at 7-3. Our kickoff is service of Rail Transport of Marshfield, the Take Home More, Be Home More carrier. Experience the power of red with Rail Transport of Marshfield. Lipke kicking off against the wind. He lines one pretty good to about the 14-yard line, picked up by Griffin, looking for some running room. He spins out across the 25 to the 30, and taken down by Dolezal. Also looks like Daniel Drock gets in there, puts a hit on Griffin at the 26-yard line.
Excellent coverage by the Tigers there, and considering the wind, a pretty good kick by Sully.
1st and 10 Everest at their own 26. Tigers now have their first lead of the ball game at 7-3. Quarterback Luke Keller back in the ball game for the Evergreens. Jared Yerston, 6'7" tight end, also lines up. Evergreens changing personnel, and now the Evergreens may need a timeout here. They're confused, and they will take a timeout. The Evergreens use their first timeout of the first half with 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter, and Marshfield leading in this ball game now by a score of 7-3. By the way, get your tickets now for the Marshfield Tiger Booster Club raffle. There are 10 cash winners with a top prize of $2,500. Winners will be drawn at halftime of the October 15th game with Wisconsin Rapids. You can get your tickets at the concession stand during Tiger home games, from Tiger football players, or from participating businesses. That's again the Marshfield Tiger Booster Club Rally. The big drawing on that one will be during the October 15th ball game with Wisconsin Rapids.
That's twice tonight we've seen Everest take the field, including their very first time with the ball tonight, and not having the correct personnel on the field from the sidelines. You know, you expect that occasionally in passing downs or as the game goes on, because you have substitutions due to injury. Don't usually see that sort of mistake from the Everest sideline, and we've seen it twice tonight.
Now the Evergreens now will put the ball in play from their own 26-yard line. They send Griffin wide to the near side. Dan Stanley picking him up. Esser wide far side. Heller at quarterback. Split backfield. And on first down, the call goes to Myers to the 30, but that play is whistled dead.
And that was thrown as the ball was snapped, too. So I would expect, yep, the illegal procedure. Somebody from Everest flinched and moved just enough. And so that's going to back them up 5 more.
Ball goes back to the 21-yard line. 1st and 15 for the Evergreens. Tiger defense playing very well once again tonight. And they've done so even with some changes in personnel over the weeks. Dylan Ragey has been hurt. Shara was not available last week. Now Ross Hazeroat sidelined. 1st and 15 from the 21.
Boy, Marshfield's playing very close to the line of scrimmage.
And Everest wants timeout.
My goodness.
The Evergreens use timeout once again. Their second timeout in the first half. 8:09 remaining in the second quarter. And Marshfield leads this ball game 7-3. We'll return to Schofield right after this message.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
You know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
Myers goes in motion. Heller back to pass. There's across the middle. The ball is caught by Waldvogel, who carries inside the 50-yard line all the way inside the 40-yard line.
Marshfield safety was right there and went for the interception down in Marshfield territory about the 45 and swatted at the ball. In fact, it looked he was going to pick it off, but it went right by him, right into the hands of the Everest receiver.
A catch made by Austin Waldvogel, his 5th catch of the year. It's a gain of 38 yards and a first down for the Evergreens at the Tiger 36-yard line.
Both teams are playing very close to the line of scrimmage with their safeties. There's a lot of room behind them.
Tight formation for the Evergreens once again. Handoff goes to Myers to the near side. The play strung out. He has no place to go, and he'll be stopped right around the 35-yard line. Stanley and Zillman escort him out of bounds. Lysecki there as well, right on the 35-yard line, a gain of 1.
This time, now it looks like maybe Marshfield is slanting towards that wing-back side. Good internal pursuit one way or the other from the inside out, helping jam up that play. Marshfield's got to stay home on the backside for a reverse or a counter.
2nd and 9, Evergreens at the Tiger 35. Handoff goes to Myers again, getting outside at the 30-yard line, pulled down from behind around the 29-yard line. Peterson out there, along with Dan Kinich. They'll mark him down around the 28, a gain of 7. So now a 3rd and about 3 for the Evergreens at the Marshfield 27. Tiger defense, for the most part, has been quite strong tonight.
And this is the area on the field where they have liked to throw to the tight ends down the seam as well.
Split backfield, tight formation. Heller hands off again, not much there, and Myers stood up behind the line.
Boy.
I think Sternweiss, the first guy there. Zillman, the 2 linebackers were there. Lysecki helping out as well. And Myers gains nothing, stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Nice effort by Mike Shara also in there, helping stand up the blockers. Actually, the Everest running back running into the back of his own blockers.
So here's a big play here. The Evergreens will go for it. It's 4th and 2 for DC Everest, just inside the Tiger 28-yard line. Tight formation, wing to the near side. Handoff goes to Myers to the near side. He slides down to about the 25 and should have the first down. Myers gets 3 yards and picks up the first down for Everest at the Tiger 25-yard line. 6:20 remaining in the first half, and Marshfield leads 7-3. Dale getting choked up about the Tiger defensive job tonight.
Oh, excuse me.
Split backfield. Too much of that pulled pork before the ball game.
Oh, man.
Here's a handoff. Flags are down on this play. Myers gets the handoff and loses yardage on a sweep attempt as Logan Schmidt comes over from behind, grabs the ball carrier. A loss of 1, but that play may come back as there might be a motion called against DCE Everest. Penalty is on the Evergreens. Play will lose about 1.5 yards if it stands. Tiger coaching staff in unison over there signaling decline the penalty. Illegal shift against DCE Everest declined. It's a loss of 1.
Declined by the Tigers.
And a 2nd and 11 for the Evergreens at the Tiger 36-yard line.
Sam Meyer does have 104 yards, a lot of that on the 36-yard carry, about his 6th attempt tonight. He got loose on a sweep around the right end.
Second time this year Myers has been above 100 yards. He also had 128 against Superior earlier this year. On 2nd down, Heller back to pass, a slant to the far side, not high in the air, incomplete. Esser was the intended receiver. There's now a late flag goes down. And Logan Schmidt playing defense on that play, perhaps got their account early.
If they're going to call pass interference here, yes they are, and that is a bench call. The official right in front of the Everest bench, far away from the play, the opposite side of the field, came in after the play was over, well after the play was over, and made that call. The back judge who was right there, the umpire who was behind the line, and the far officials. I don't like to jump on officials, but I'll tell you what, I just don't like what I saw there. That flag came in a good 3-4 counts after the play.
Well, that stations the football now at the Tiger 13-yard line. Pass interference against Marshfield. The ball is now at the Everest 13. 1st and 10 for the Evergreens. They trail 7-3 with 5:40 remaining in the first half. Myers in the backfield with Mackey. And the handoff goes to Myers, off tackle inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. Sternweiss and Lipke pull him down at the 7-yard line, a gain of 6. Gain of 6, and the Evergreens now have the football inside the Tiger 10-yard line. 2nd and 4 from that point. Tigers attempting to make another defensive stop right here.
Don't be surprised for a little tight end dump pass here sooner or later.
Myers and Mackey split behind Heller. Handoff goes to Myers, gets tripped up, then gets stood up by Stanley and is going to be tossed backwards. Kendall Lysecki with very good defensive penetration. Got a hand on Myers in the backfield, and Stanley there to wrap him up back around the 8-yard line. That play may lose about a half yard. No gain on the play. So it's 3rd and 4 for DCE Everest at the Tiger 7-yard line. Tiger defense standing tough once again. Luke Heller back in the huddle. Tiger defensive line digs in. Mackey and Myers split behind Heller. Handoff goes to Mackey, straight ahead, hit immediately by Sternweiss and dropped for a loss. Then got some help, I believe, also from another defensive lineman, Mike Wartella, right there at the 9-yard line, a loss of 2.
Well, Marshfield definitely had the right defensive call for that particular play, which was going to be a quick trap right up the middle, and they pushed the runner back. Swarmed right up the middle.
And let's see if the place kicker Hansen's coming in. Ball's on the 9-yard line, 4th and about 6, and Hansen, no, it's not Hansen. It's Jacob Daigle, another kicker, will attempt a field goal from the 16, a 26-yard field goal try by another kicker, Daigle. Hansen kicked one earlier. Before the snap, there's a flag down.
Delay of game.
Delay of game on DCE Everest. Brings the ball back to the 14. Well, Matt Hansen kicked a field goal earlier in this ball game, then missed a long shot, and now another gentleman, Jacob Daigle's in the ball game, and he'll try the field goal. The ball now will be spotted on the 21, so this is a 31-yard field goal try by Daigle. Backup quarterback Jeff Marquardt is the holder. Ball is down. Daigle's kick is away, curving, and the kick is Good, just inside the upright.
It hit the right upright and ricocheted through. Right square in the upright and bounced through the goalpost.
Daigle kicks a 31-yard field goal, the Evergreen second field goal of the ball game, but the Marshfield Tigers maintain their lead. 3:35 remaining in the second quarter. Our score, sponsored by the Sports Den of Marshfield, it's Marshfield 7, DCE Everest 6. We'll return with more football in just a moment.
Let's go! Hurry! Metalcon! Metalcon!
Dude, why is your mom driving us to Metalcon?
Remember when I bought us all snowboards on that credit card and never paid it back? Well, I guess they check that stuff out when you apply for a car loan.
Afterwards, we'll all go out for ice cream.
Don't let your credit put you in a bad place. Go to controlyourcredit.gov.
Well, the rain falling much harder right now. Sheets of rain coming down as Matt Henson comes back in to kick off. This kickoff sponsored by Rail Transport of Marshfield, the Take Home More, Be Home More carrier. Experience the power of red from Rail Transport in Marshfield.
The ball is blown off the tee twice, and now a young man's being brought in to hold the ball. Tiger returners are going to be looking right back into the face of a driving rain.
Van Tassel and Lysecki back in deep safety for Marshfield. Here's the kick by Henson. It's a short kick to the near sideline and grabbed by an up man around the 25-yard line, heading for the far sideline. That is Shoup across the 30, out to about the 32, and decked right there. Josh Shoup had the football.
You know, it's a good thing for Everest there that they did not kick that deep, because they were outnumbered kick return coverage-wise on the left side, and Marshfield was set up that way, and unfortunately Shoup had to go all the way across the field to try to get there.
Well, the Tigers put the ball in play at their own 32. 3:27 remaining, second quarter. Marshfield leads 7-6. Heavy rain falling.
Got to secure the ball, watch for Dolezal again.
High backfield, Steeman gives to Van Tassel and tries the right side. Nothing there. He'll be pushed back and loses a couple of yards on that play. Loss of 2 on that sweep attempt. Ball back at the 30-yard line. It will be 2nd and 12.
Loss of 1.5 on the play, bringing up.
We've, of course, had rainy conditions the last couple of days, but now the rain falling quite hard here in Schofield.
It's blowing sideways.
Yeah. 2nd and 12, Tigers at their own 30. One man in the backfield behind Ashbeck, 2 tight ends. Ashbeck hands off to Dolezal, near side 35-40, in the clear again to midfield. 45-40 inside the 35-yard line, caught from behind. Another big run by Brad Dolezal, finally tackled at the Everest 32-yard line.
I'm not sure what happened to Everest that time. They were outnumbered on their right defensive side. Cody Cheek getting out around the corner at that time to help on the sweep, but Van Tassel was through the line of scrimmage before Cody could even get there.
That's a gain of 32 more. Dolezal gets 32 more. He had 52 on one run earlier in the ball game.
He is so quick.
A first down for the Tigers at the Everest 32-yard line. And Marshfield wants timeout. Tigers take timeout, their second timeout of the first half. 2:40 remaining in the first half. Our score, Marshfield 7, DCE Everest 6. You're listening to Marshfield Tiger football on AM 1450 WDLB Marshfield and on WDLB WOSQ.com.
Horseradish. Is that for horses? Remember me, Mr. Lobster? From last Tuesday?
Banana. 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 Here comes the rain. We need a hat. And why do we need a hat?
It's a jot.
That's right.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
It's 1st and 10 for Marshfield at the Everest 32-yard line. 2:40 remaining in the first half. Tigers have 1 timeout remaining, and the Tigers lead 7-6. Chris Steeman in the shotgun. Back to pass, dumps it far side. It's a screen to Van Tassel at the 30, breaks a tackle, 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5, and in the end zone for another Tiger touchdown.
Oh, do I have our block of the game and collision of the game as that ball was thrown out there to Van Tassel. James Bailey from his line position got out there and decleated an Everest defender. You should have seen the Marshfield sidelines go nuts. Bailey jumping up in the air afterwards, but Van Tassel, the recipient of just a bone crusher of a block by Bailey.
Touchdown pass by Chris Steeman, his 4th of the year. Van Tassel with his first touchdown catch of the year, a 28-yarder, 3-play, 68-yard scoring drive, and Sully Lipke back in to attempt the PAT. Ball is down. Kick is on the way. The kick is up and it is through.
Drove that one through against the wind and rain.
And our PAT's a service of Wheelers of Marshfield, where their service department is open Saturdays between 7:30 and 6. 2:31 remaining in the second quarter. Our score, a service of the Sports Den of Marshfield. Marshfield 14, DCE Everest 6. We'll return with more football in just a moment.
I'm looking for a wallet.
Ah, celebrating high school graduation.
No, I dropped out.
啊，星啊，呢個友仔要買荷包啊！
係佢樣，眼碌碌好似馬騮星咁。
係啊，真係可惜啊！中學都畢唔到業。
我翻嚟啦。係。
Isn't it a little small?
Go to OperationGraduation.com.
Sully Lipke to kick off again. Our kickoff sponsored by Rail Transport of Marshfield, the Take Home More, Be Home More carrier. Experience the power of red from Rail Transport of Marshfield. Here's the kick by Sully Lipke. He drives one down the far side, grabbed by Esser back at the 10-yard line, to the 15, to the 20, out near the 25, and pushed down right there. Sternweiss and Zillman, Dolzall, and several other Tigers are there. Drock is in the neighborhood as well. And the Evergreens have the ball around their own 25-yard line to begin this series.
Lipke again driving a kick on the kickoff there, driving it. It wasn't a line drive, but drove it to the 8-yard line into this Kale. So a strong leg there. The kind of kick you say often is returnable, but good coverage by the Tiger coverage team.
Evergreens football on their own 25. Esser wide to the near side. Split backfield behind Esser. He runs into a back, throws it the near sideline to Griffin at the 30. He's dangerous in the open field and run out of bounds by Stanley across the 35-yard line. He's the speedster the Tigers have to keep a very close eye on. That's his 9th catch of the year, and he's averaging over 20 yards per catch and has 1 touchdown catch in each Everest ball game this year. He picks up 11 on that play, a first down for the Evergreens at their own 36-yard line. Clock down to 2:18 remaining in the second quarter. Griffin lining up on the far side, Esser wide near side, split backfield behind Heller. He looks to pass again, a quick slant, nobody there. Griffin had his head turned, and the closest man to the football is actually Dan Stanley, who fell down attempting to run up and make an interception attempt.
Everest has rushed for 118 yards thus far, and not much since the first quarter. Heller has thrown for 63, 196 yards of offense so far for Everest in this ball game. Marshfield with 164 after having only 18 yards of offense in the first quarter with the wind.
Here's a 2nd and 10 for the Evergreens at their own 37-yard line. Griffin to the near side. Stanley picks him up. He's tight to the line. And Heller fakes the handoff, back to pass, stops, and throws deep to the near sideline into the Everest bench, incomplete.
Yeah, Heller didn't have a choice. They're trying to single up. Griffin was the only receiver that went down the field on about a 15-yard out pattern, and actually there were 3 Tiger defenders in the area. Good coverage there. Yeah, some of the folks up here wanting a hold on Everest and one of our on-rushing defensive linemen as well. No flag on the play.
Tigers bring in a new man to play the nose tackle spot. Bodie Kroll comes in to play that position. Big play here. The Tigers want to make a stop right here. 3rd and 10 for the Evergreens at their own 37. Griffin wing on the far side, split backfield. Heller fakes the handoff, being rushed by Peterson, heads for the near side, throws on the run, a diving attempt at the 45-yard line, but the pass is incomplete. That was, I believe, Esser heading out of bounds, attempted to make a diving catch, could not grab the ball, and so the Tigers will get the football back here, Dale, with more than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 4th and 10 for the Evergreens at their own 37. Joe Rose on to punt the ball to TJ Van Tassel. Here's a high kick, a very high kick. Van Tassel has that ball get away from him. He fights for it inside the 15-yard line. And it looks like Van Tassel will maintain possession. The officials looking it over. Van Tassel tried to short hop it, lost control, but did fall on the football right on the 15-yard line.
Very similar to a play he made against Stevens Point, trying to trap a ball, short hop it, and lost control of it against Point. This time able to recover it. That would have been disastrous just before the half.
Tigers do have one timeout remaining, 1:56 left in the second quarter. Tigers lead 14-6. Marshfield football on their own 15. Van Tassel in the backfield behind Steeman. 2 tight ends, wide receivers on either side. And Steeman hands to Van Tassel, looking for a hole, not much there. He'll fight for about 1 or 2 yards on the play. Out to about the 16, no further than that. Tigers are moving against the wind here in the second quarter.
Yeah, the ideal thing here would be able to get a first down and just run out the clock here and get into the locker room.
2nd and 9 for the Tigers at their own 16. Tigers have gone a lot to a double tight end formation this ball game, something we've not seen too much of from Marshfield previous to this ball game. Tyler Rowlands, the only tight end in there now. I backfield behind Ashbeck. Elliott gives to Van Tassel. Not much, but he'll fight his way out to about the 18-yard line and gain 2 more. And I believe the Evergreens might step in here and call a timeout right now. Yes, they will. And the Evergreens use their final timeout of the first half. We're late in the second quarter, and Marshfield leading this ball game by a score of 14-6.
Don't walk. Don't walk. Walk. Do not enter. Hot dogs. Definitely like hot dogs. Motorcycle club. Everything must go. Ghost to eat ghouls. Don't look at that, Teddy. Body piercing. Ouch.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Here's a 3rd and 7 for the Tigers at their own 18. 1:12 remaining before halftime. Steeman in the shotgun. Gets the snap and hands the ball to Dolezal. He breaks a tackle. He'll get the first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Boy, we're seeing some great running by Brad Dolezal in this ball game.
Quick burst through the line of scrimmage and some nice holes there by the Tigers. He's over 100 yards, and what did he have on that one, Gene?
13 more yards for Dolezal, 119. Coming into this ball game, his high for the year was 36. And now the Tigers take a timeout. The Tigers will burn their final timeout of the first half. About 1 minute remaining in the second quarter. Tigers lead 14-6. We can't give you exact times when we have a timeout because the scoreboard clock runs down the time of the timeout. And they do that with the time mechanism, which shows you the time remaining in the quarter. So unless you catch it right away, you can't see how much time is left in the period, but we're approaching the 1 minute mark here before halftime. Rain still falling, although it's lightened up a little bit, but still heavy rains in the Schofield area. And so that certainly has affected play in our contest tonight.
Well, we've got our block of the game and possibly collision of the game on the same play tonight with James Bailey on that big block. The Marshfield offensive line and defensive line doing a very nice job tonight against this Everest ball club. And at times in the past, Everest has dominated up front. Not tonight.
Tiger offense back on the field. 1:03 remaining before halftime. Steeman at quarterback. 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 31. Steeman back to pass. Going deep to the far sideline. Intercepted by Joe Rose at midfield. Heading down the near sideline. Flags are down all over the place. Rose carries inside the Marshfield 40, 35, 30. Finally tackled around the 25-yard line.
Well, I think this is going to come back as there are 2 flags back here between the 40 to the 45-yard line and Everest. I think we'll have an illegal block. Oh, I was just thinking before that play, just run this clock out and get in the locker room at halftime.
Holding call against DC Everest on the return. Rose with his second pass interception in this ball game.
Well,
and Steeman now has 4 interceptions this year. That gives Everest some time, although they are out of timeouts. 48 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Now see where the Evergreens put the ball in play.
Marshfield leading 14-6. Hopefully they can hold Everest off here before the halftime, because you'd hate to see the green and gold put another score up here with Marshfield with a, I don't want to say comfortable lead, but certainly an 8-point lead going into the half, and pretty dominant at the line of scrimmage tonight.
Ball going all the way back to the Everest 33. Tigers with an 8-point lead, even though they've been victimized by 3 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, they have. One of them on the first play of the game, if you joined us late, dropping a snap.
47 seconds remaining before halftime. Everest out of timeouts. They have the football on their own 33. Griffin lines up as a wing on the near side. He's dangerous. Got to watch him. Heller at quarterback. Running to the near side. Now pitches back to Joswiak. He's going to throw deep down the near sideline for Griffin. The ball's up in the air and incomplete. It actually lands between Drock and Sternweiss. They're going not for Griffin, but for Esser on a halfback option pass thrown by Joswiak, who was last year's quarterback.
Yeah, we were talking about that very thing during a timeout. I asked you who their backup quarterback was on a halfback option. They've been known for that, but that pass by Joswiak, that was the 118 Duck.
Joswiak last year as the quarterback for this ball club threw for 816 yards. In fact, in one ball game against East, he threw for 340 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Tried to throw that one too hard.
2nd and 10. Heller back to pass. Pump fakes. Now goes deep down the far sideline for Esser. He makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
I think he dropped it.
Well, he may have. Let's get the officials' ruling here. One official says incomplete, and yes, that will be the ruling. Looked like he had the ball, then went out of bounds and dropped it. The official says he did not have possession, and so the pass is incomplete. He was wide open on that play.
Yes, he was. That would have been at about the 40-yard line of Marshfield.
Yep.
Right in his hands, right through the breadbasket.
Now 3rd and 10 for the Evergreens at their own 33. Clock down to 35 seconds as Heller comes back on the field.
I think he was afraid of running into Coach Randy Hartwig on the sidelines. I think that's what it was all about. He was afraid of that big head-on collision over there.
Griffin wide near side. Heller will pitch it near side to Myers across the 35 out to about the 40-yard line. Dumped there by Zillman and Arndt. Myers runs the ball for about 7 yards. Each team out of timeouts. Clock down to 20 seconds remaining. And that could be the final play of the half.
4th and 2 for the Evergreens.
Clock down to 12 seconds, and the Evergreens trotting their quarterback Heller back on the field. He may take one shot down the field real quick. 4 seconds left. Clock is running quickly. Down to 2, 1. Heller gets it off, goes back to pass. Lysecki in pursuit, now starts to run and gets hit and taken down by Peterson. Peterson on the quarterback sack, the Tigers' first quarterback sack in this ball game. Peterson's 2nd sack of the year. At halftime, our score is Marshfield 14, DC Everest 6. We'll come back with our halftime program in just a moment. Matt Hansen kicking off.
Yeah, Tigers again will have the wind this quarter. It looks like the rain has dissipated somewhat, but not the wind.
Van Tassel and Lysecki back in deep safety for the Tigers. Only stationed at their 15-yard line as Hansen is kicking off against a pretty stiff wind out of the northwest. He approaches, and here's the kick. He lines one down the middle. Bouncing around inside the 20, picked up by Van Tassel, heading for the far sideline, turns the corner at the 30. He's at the 35 and run out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Tigers will start this possession on their own 39 and have very good field position.
You know what the odd thing is, Gene, when you've got this kind of wind out there, you think, oh boy, you have the wind at your back, you better throw the football. But sometimes when the wind is this strong, it makes it even tough for a quarterback to get the right touch on a ball. The ball has a tendency to sail. We've seen that happen to Heller a couple times tonight as Everest has tried to throw the ball more than Marshfield 11 times, Marshfield 4 times tonight.
Chris Teeman, the quarterback. Todd Van Tassel in the backfield. 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers on 1st and 10. Van Tassel gets the carry and gets buried in the backfield. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by 2 DCE Everest ball players. John Matushak, the first man there. Van Tassel down back at the 36. He'll lose 3.
Somebody missed a block at the point of attack. It's going to make it look like Cody Cheek missed a block, but he's the guy that's supposed to pull up the hole. And whoever was supposed to make that first lead block must have whiffed because there were 2 Everest guys there before Cheek could ever get there.
Tyler Rollins and Cody Tarnowski, the tight ends. 2nd and 13, Tigers at their own 36. Ashbeck looking to throw. His pass batted down, incomplete.
Yeah, partially tipped.
Yep, it looks like that pass was tipped by Ryan Tesh, a defensive lineman looking for a quick slant to the far side. And that pass is incomplete. It's 3rd and long for the Tigers.
And once again, those short passes are really being overplayed by these Everest defenders. And sooner or later, we're going to see Marshfield go with the pump fake on the short pass and then go for the bomb.
Padron to the near side, Lysecki far side. I backfield, 3rd and 13 from the Tiger 36. Steeman back to pass, pump fakes, and goes deep down the far sideline looking for a receiver, but overthrows Lysecki at the DCE Everest 30-yard line.
Well, you know, sometimes people ask me, how do you know that? Well, it's pretty obvious with these defenses playing so tight. And again, that ball thrown pretty much on a line, and it got up in the jet streams and just sailed. It's not that easy to complete a pass with the wind throwing when it's at your back with the wind.
Everest will get the football back, 4th and 13 at the 36. Low snap picked up by Sully Lipke, and he booms one out of there. Esser goes back. The ball hits inside the 20-yard line and rolls to a stop right on the 15. Sully had a 72-yard punt with the wind earlier. This one, I believe, was a 49er.
And you know what? Sully would tell you, he'd be the first to tell you, you know, I didn't really hit that one.
Yep.
He got it up in the air, and it looked like it was only going to be a 25, 30-yard kick, but it got up there and just carried.
Well, now the ball marked upfield a bit. Apparently a Tiger player touched the ball earlier.
I thought so.
And the ball is going to be spotted on the 22. 1st and 10 Everest from that spot, early 3rd quarter, and Marshfield on top, 14-6. Cohnhorst and Myers in the backfield behind Heller. On 1st down, Myers gets the carry, gets outside, slips a tackle. He's at the 40-yard line and spun right at a 30-yard line, spun down on the 35 by Scotty Owen.
Going back to that right side again, trying to get out around the corner. That time they did it successfully.
And a gain of 13 for Myers on that carry. 1st and 10 for DCE Everest on their own 35-yard line.
Now let's see if Marshfield can do a better job on 1st down here.
Wide out on the far side, split backfield. Handoff goes to Cohnhorst. Not much. He gets stood up. I mentioned Scotty Owen making a tackle earlier. I wonder if that's Owen or if that might be another Tiger in another uniform. That might be Zillman out there. I would almost guess that might be Zillman in a different number. Ball's on the 38-yard line. After that run by Cohnhorst, it's a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Tight formation once again. Myers again to the outside, and he'll barrel his way across the 40 to the 42. And a couple of Tigers on that stop. Bodie Kroll in on that tackle for Marshfield on the 42-yard line, gain of 4 more. So a 3rd and 3 here for the Evergreens at their own 42-yard line. Tiger defensive line digging in. Griffin wing on the near side, split backfield. Handoff goes to Myers. He gets stood up and fights his way to near the 45-yard line, then gets pushed back. And we'll see where they spot the football. The official on the near side putting it just shy of the 45. I think he has to just get by the 45 for the 1st down.
Alex Arndt with a nice defensive play there, standing up a couple blockers coming at him.
And marked the ball just shy of the 45-yard line. That will warrant a measurement. During our post-game report this evening, we'll give you the collision of the game, sponsored by Arts Body Shop. If you're involved in a collision, take your car to Arts Body Shop, 1702 South Central Avenue in Marshfield.
Yep, I've got to go down and see Paul Tremelling in a day or so down there. Got a little wrinkle in the back end of my truck.
Huh. Getting some pretty big walleye out there.
Yeah.
Looks like Everest is short by inches. So Coach Stephen Hagen with a decision to make. 4th and inches for the Evergreens, just shy of their own 45-yard line.
This music will warm me up.
And we'll see what the Evergreens want to do here.
I can't predict what he's going to do here other than maybe bring his team to the line and try to go on long count.
By the way, Zillman's now in the ballgame, so apparently that was Scotty Owen making that tackle earlier.
Okay.
Haven't seen too much of Scotty this year, but he made a big play earlier in this series. 4th and inches for the Evergreens, just shy of their own 45-yard line. Cohnhorst and Joswiak in the backfield behind Heller. Heller is 6'6", he might take it himself. The Tigers do jump across.
There it is.
Alex Arndt jumps across the line of scrimmage for the offside call, and that will give Everest a first down on the 50-yard line. 1st and 10, DC Everest at midfield with 9:10 remaining in the third quarter, and Marshfield leading 14-6. So the Evergreens get their first down. Sternweiss and Zillman in the ball game at linebacker. Lysecki and Peterson, the defensive ends. Heller hands off to Myers. He gets hit in the backfield by Sternweiss and drops for a loss.
Again from behind. They were going to try that power play around the right corner again, but twice now we've seen Sternweiss able to find a gap from his linebacker spot, shoot through, and pull the running back down from behind. Great play. Boy, he's quick.
Yeah, great play there by Justin Sternweiss. Loss of 3. 2nd and 13 for Everest at their own 43-yard line.
I don't know when I've seen an Everest team this much just giving the ball to one guy.
Here's Heller, split to the near side. Griffin flanked on the far side. Heller back to pass, throws near side for Esser, makes the catch inside the 50, fumbles the football in the secondary. I think he fell on it, though, at the Marshfield 41. There were 4 Tigers in the area, and it was Esser who got the football on his own 40 at the Marshfield 41, a yard shy of the first down marker.
Yeah, he got lucky. That ball bounced right back up to him.
Gain of 12 creates a 3rd and 1 for the Evergreens at the Marshfield 41. Tigers have suffered 3 turnovers tonight, but Everest does not have a turnover. 3rd and 1 for the Evergreens at the Marshfield 41. Myers and Cohnhorst in the backfield. And Heller gives to Cohnhorst, and he gets stood up by Lipke, but does fall forward to the 38 for the first down.
But look behind him. There's nobody in the secondary for Marshfield. I've got to believe the Everest coaches right nearby here are going, there's nobody in the secondary.
Here's John Bogotke back in at nose tackle, replacing Bodie Krall. 1st and 10 for DC Everest at the Tiger 38, 7:20 remaining, third quarter. Marshfield leads 14-6. Handoff to Myers again. Sternweiss gets a grab on him, and he falls forward inside the 35. He may mark him down right on the 35, but again, Sternweiss tripped him up going through the line. It's a gain of 3. Good play by Sternweiss again. 2nd and 7 for DC Everest at the Tiger 35-yard line. This is the 9th play in this drive, which began on the Everest 22-yard line. Hesser wing on the far side, Griffin near side on 2nd down. Heller fakes the handoff, back to pass, stops and throws to the far sideline, and the ball's caught by Esser at the 20-yard line. He then dropped it coming down. Sully Lipke on his back forced him to lose possession coming down. That pass is incomplete.
Oh, we saw Sully Lipke make a nice play like that last week in disrupting a pass that would have been complete for a big first down. He got called for a tough pass interference call against Stevens Point, but tonight pulling off the play again, going right through the receiver to strip him of the football.
Now here's a 3rd and 7 situation for DC Everest at the Tiger 35-yard line. Might be in 2-down territory here. Griffin wide to the far side, Dan Stanley following him, Esser wide out on the near side. Heller back to pass, runs into his own man, gets hit and taken down by Arndt. Alex Arndt makes the quarterback sack, the Tigers' second sack of the ball game. Another sack sponsored by Quality Roofing of Marshfield. Alex Arndt with the quarterback sack way back at the 42-yard line, a loss of 7.
You know, Arndt and Lysicki were in there so fast, I didn't get to see it, but I wonder if Everest wasn't going to try their own version of a screen as fast as those Tiger players were in there.
So here's Joe Rose punting on 4th down. Kicks one away. Van Tassel goes back and watches this one fall inside the 20-yard line, then go backwards to about the 19. And the ball will be spotted out of bounds at the 20. Heller ran into his own running back on that play. That really slowed down the play and allowed Alex Arndt to make that quarterback sack, which is his first of the year.
And Heller doesn't look to be real swift of foot anyway. He's a little bit of a plotter out there at quarterback. Big kid, though.
Tiger football on their own 20, halfway through the third quarter, and Marshfield leading 14-6.
Boy, Everest playing up tight, too, within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Dolezal and Van Tassel in the backfield. Here's Dolezal straight ahead. Not much there, though. He'll only gain about 1 yard.
Yeah, nice play by a defensive lineman there by Everest. That's Bill Colsty, defensive lineman. Nice job inside, stuffing that up.
1 yard for Dolezal, who had 119 rushing yards for Marshfield in the first half. Second and 9 Tigers at their own 21. Lysicki and Padron out to the far side. Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye. Ashbeck hands to Van Tassel, trying to turn the corner. They string it out. He crosses the 20-yard line, then gets pulled down, and perhaps by the face mask. I think a penalty flag is down here. Van Tassel pulled down in the open field along the far sideline. And the Everest player may have gotten his face mask.
And then Van Tassel also was giving a stiff arm in the face mask of the Everest player.
Well,
so this will be interesting.
See how they do it. Face mask on DC Everest.
Oh, man. Okay.
Face mask against DC Everest. And so the Tigers get a break there.
I don't understand why officials in these situations even have to ask the team. Yeah, let's take the play. Let's take 1 yard here.
Well, it's a courtesy.
I suppose. Tradition, maybe. I don't know.
Face mask.
Although, you know, I have seen captains on the field sometimes goof up.
Yep.
In unintentional, apparently.
Ball's on the 27-yard line. It will be a... I don't know what's going on.
Oh, good counter. Nice. Come on. Oh!
The ball is there by number 28, Todd Van Tassel. And on that tackle for the Evergreens, number 99, Lavi Shabani. And that carry was good enough for a Tiger first and 10 from their own 36-yard line. The ball is there by number 28, Todd Van Tassel.
I'm here.
And on that tackle for the Evergreens was number 4.
Well, I was fine on my end. I heard everything you were doing.
Gain of 5 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 5 for the Tigers. The ball now resting on their own 42-yard line.
Second and 5 Tigers at their own 42-yard line. Steeman in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Being rushed. It's a screen pass to Van Tassel. He gets hit, though, and knocked down back at the 40. He'll lose a couple of yards on this play.
We're going to get roughing the passer, Gene.
Yeah, you're right, Dale. DC Everest with a heavy rush on Chris Steeman and somebody a bit too aggressive. And the Evergreens will be flagged on this play.
The Everest player on the play would have been fine. He made the hit as Steeman threw the pass on the screen, but then he picked Steeman up and planted him, followed through with that, and therefore, that'll be a first down.
Major infraction against DC Everest.
Couple penalties now on this drive.
2 penalties, 2 defensive penalties against the Evergreens on this series. And yardage marked off against the Evergreens. And this will be a 15-yard walk-off against DC Everest, putting the ball into Everest territory at the Evergreens 46. 1st and 10 Marshfield at the Everest 46. 4 minutes left, third quarter, and Marshfield leading 14-6.
Not sure if they marked that off from the right spot, but at least it's a 1st and 10 Marshfield.
High backfield, behind quarterback Elliott Ashbeck. Padron wide out on the near side. Elliott back to pass. Pump fakes, goes deep far sideline. Lysecki wide open, falls down, but makes the catch at the 20-yard line.
Oh, there it is again, the little pump and go. And Lysecki ran the slant and then turned it up the field. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him, and as he had to lean back to make that catch, he lost his footing.
Jake Lysecki's first catch of the year. He's had 2 catches, at least 2 catches, in the Tigers' previous 4 ball games. He gains 27 on that play. A first down for Marshfield at the Everest 19-yard line. Lysecki's 13th catch of the year. From the eye, pitch play, Van Tassel to the outside. Not much there. He'll be upended in the backfield. A good tackle in the open field by Alex Torres of DC Everest. And Van Tassel taken down back at the 22-yard line. He'll lose 3 on that play.
Yeah, if we give a collision of the game to the opponent, that would be their collision of the game tonight. Nice open field tackle by Torres, who flipped TJ Van Tassel end for end.
And the Tigers now have a 2nd and long, 2nd and 13 at the Everest 22. Padron near side, Lysecki far side. Ashbeck fakes the handoff, now gives to Van Tassel to the 20, 15, breaks in the clear at the far sideline, tripped up inside the 10-yard line, taken out of bounds around the 7. And that will be a first down for Marshfield. So TJ gets it all back with a 15-yard run.
Rollins doing a nice job out there. Also a couple of other Tiger linemen out there doing a very nice job on that play. Brandon Sukamel, one of them.
1st and goal, Tigers inside the Everest 7. Tigers lead 14-6. 3:15 remaining, third quarter. Steeman back into play, quarterback. Lysecki and Padron the wideouts. Fake handoff. Steeman rolling to the near side, throws on the run, has a man open inside the 5-yard line. Flags go down. Dolezal makes the catch at the 2, went down right there, but there's a flag down in the secondary.
I think we might have an illegal pick on Marshfield.
That's something you don't see called very often, but we'll see what the officials have spotted.
Well, there was contact between an Everest player and another receiver down in the end zone.
Ineligible man downfield.
Oh, okay. All right.
Eligible receiver downfield for the Tigers.
So that'll cost the Tigers.
Boy, that play was set up well, too.
Yep. Tonight's insurance points of the game, a service of Randy Lemoyne, your American Family Insurance agent in Marshfield.
Boy, Marshfield could tack on another 6 here. It's going to be very tough for Everest to come back in this kind of weather.
Yardage marked off back to the 12-yard line. It is still first down. 1st and goal, Tigers from the Everest 12. Ashbeck at quarterback. High backfield. Elliott on the draw to Van Tassel. Big hole to the 10, to the 5, to the 4-yard line. And taken down to about the 3. Van Tassel with a couple of nice runs here in this series, although he did not run real well in the first half, has put together some nice runs on this drive.
Boy, give credit to that interior line, Gene. Trevor Barth, Cody Cheek, Brandon Sukamel in particular, center and guards. The offensive linemen doing a great job.
Sure are. They've done a great job tonight. 2nd and goal, Tigers inside the Everest 4-yard line. Tigers go with a full house formation. Here's Dolezal off tackle, pounds his way down to the 3. That's a power I formation, rather. The power I they used earlier in the season. They went to on that play for 1 yard. It's 3rd and goal.
Changing a lot of personnel again. 4 different people coming in offensively for Marshfield,
including Ashbeck at quarterback. 3rd and goal, Tigers at the Everest 3. Dolezal in the backfield. Everest trying to get a man off. They can't do so. Ashbeck hands to Dolezal, gets a big block on the outside, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and gets in the end zone for the touchdown.
Nice block on the outside again from Brandon Sycamel, who pulled on that play. But Van Tassel also, Dolezal doing the nice job there, breaking a tackle as well at about the 2-yard line and powering his way in.
10-play, 80-yard scoring drive for the Tigers, who now lead 20-6. Tigers up their lead. And Sully Lipke back in to attempt to kick the PAT. Elliot Ashbeck is the holder. Ball is placed down, the kick is on the way, and the kick is up, and it is good. Our PAT's a service of Wheelers of Marshfield. If you need an extra car, see their line of great certified used vehicles at Wheelers of Marshfield. 1:54 remaining in the third quarter. Our score sponsored by the Sports Den of Marshfield. Marshfield 21, DCE Everest 6. More football coming up in just a moment.
Come on! This way!
Who is that guy?
I don't know! Hurry up! It's right behind us!
I know!
Come on, get up!
407 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
Sully Lipke ready to kick off for the Tigers with the wind at his back again. Griffin, that speedster, again, one of those guys back deep to receive the kick for Everest.
And the kick by Lipke, lined down the center of the field, picked up by Griffin on the 5, across the 20, and out to about the 23, maybe the 25, now falls forward across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
And the Tigers doing a nice job again in covery. Griffin kind of pitter-patting his way up to the wedge. It's surprising that Everest not setting up some sort of an outside wall to take advantage of his speed, but good coverage again by the Tigers on kickoff situation.
And the Tigers now holding a 15-point lead late in the third quarter. Luke Heller back out to lead the DCE Everest offense. Tiger defensive line has been superb tonight. They dig in, Cohnhorst and Myers in the backfield. And Heller on first down, hands off to Griffin. And Peterson turns that play inside. Then several Tigers will manhandle him. At about the 28, they try a quick reverse to Griffin, their speedy running back, and he gains about maybe 1 yard on the play.
Yeah, I was waiting for some sort of a comeback play like that, as Marshfield has been pursuing very well, but give Peterson credit. He's stood his ground, took on the lead blocker that was pulling down the line of scrimmage and just jammed him back into the play. Well, Peterson's really done a nice job at defensive end, and Lysecki has improved game by game.
Second time this year Griffin's run the ball. He had 1 yard and 1 carry against Rapids last week. 2nd and 8 at the 29-yard line. Heller drops the snap. And there's a pileup in the offensive backfield. The Tigers have the football. The Tigers have it. Sternweiss falls on the loose football. The Tigers' first takeaway of the ball game. And the Tigers get the ball back in very good field position. Justin Sternweiss on the recovery. It's Marshfield football on the DCE Everest 27-yard line.
Well, with the exception of a couple big plays for Everest tonight, it's been pretty much all Marshfield. They have really dominated this game physically.
1st and 10 Tigers at the Everest 27, 60 seconds remaining. Third quarter, Tigers lead 21-6. Marshall and Padron both wide to the near side. Steeman back to pass across the middle. A great catch by Lysecki, who lays out and makes the catch inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, he did, and then on top of that, he was tripped. He flew through the air after being upended and caught the ball in midair. That's going to be a pass interference call on Everest, so it's just going to be a matter of which turns out yardage-wise better for Marshfield.
Great pass catch by Jake Lysecki. The officials will discuss this. If the play stands, the ball would be at the Everest 14-yard line. Pass interference on DCE Everest is the call.
Yeah, they gain about 1 yard more, I think, if they took the penalty. Because half the distance would be the 23.
Players looking for some guidance from the sidelines.
Give the kid the stats.
That's certainly what you would do.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks to Dale for joining us for his color analysis tonight sponsored by Todd Bessler and his staff at Creative Paint and Decorating, 111 East 4th Street in Marshfield, where you can get expert color analysis every day on Central Wisconsin's best paint selection.
Yeah, Todd, one of my ex-English students, one of the best students I ever had.
Tigers are going backwards, and so they may be marking off the yardage here.
Yep, you're going to gain a yard. You're going to gain a yard by taking the penalty.
So that puts the ball on the 13-yard line.
What a catch by Lysicki there.
And with that 15-yard march off, it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Evergreen 13-yard line.
Every time I go into Creative Paint and Decorating, I was wondering why I see Todd reading Prometheus Bound.
Is that what it is?
I guess now I know why. It's your influence.
He still owes me a test on that yet.
1st and 10 from the 13. And Ashbeck hands off to Van Tassel to the far side, cuts back into the 10, to the 5-yard line, one man to beat, and he is tackled by the ankles at about the 2-yard line.
Once again, I'm getting a little redundant here, but boy, give Sukamel credit. He got out there, made the lead block, and Rollins also out there with a kick-out block, but a lot of that was Van Tassel with his good vision and cutback ability.
And that will give Marshfield the first down at the Everest 2-yard line. 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Tigers on top, 21-6. Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye. Padron wide on the near side.
Here comes Dolezal.
Steeman to Van Tassel off tackle. Puts his head down and dives down to about the 1-yard line. And that play will end the third quarter of football here at Steam Stadium in Schofield. Our score, a service of the Sports Den, South Central Avenue in Marshfield. It's Marshfield 21, DCE Everest 6. And we'll come back with fourth quarter action in just a moment.
I'm looking for a wallet.
Ah, celebrating high school graduation.
No, I dropped out.
啊，星啊，呢個友仔要買荷包啊！
係強兒啊，阿碌碌好似馬騮星咁。
係啊，真係可惜啊，中學都畢唔到業。
我翻嚟啦。
Isn't it a little small?
Go to OperationGraduation.com.
Tiger football on the DCE Everest 1-yard line, 2nd and goal as we start the fourth quarter here at Steam Stadium. Ashbeck at quarterback, Dolezal and Van Tassel in the eye. Elliott turns, gives to Dolezal off the right side, pushed back, and may have fumbled the ball as well. Brad fighting for possession.
I think he's got it back, though.
Yep, looks like he does get the football back just before Sam Groff fall on it.
Nice play by that nose guard again from Everest, that Bill Colsty.
Brad loses 1, 3rd and goal Tigers at the Everest 2-yard line. Score here might just about put things away for Marshfield as they're up by 15 at this point. Steeman rushing back in the ball game with the new play.
Watch him go off tackle left side.
Van Tassel and Tarnowski in the eye. Cody into play fullback here. Steeman pitches to Van Tassel, getting outside, turns it back upfield, cuts inside, and scores the touchdown for Marshfield.
Well, they went to the tight end side, back to the right side with Rollins out there at the tight end spot with a key block.
4-play, 27-yard scoring drive for Marshfield. Started with the fumble recovery by Sternweiss, and the Tigers lead 26-6 with 11:08 remaining in regulation. So the Tigers' first takeaway of the night results in 6 points, maybe 7, as Lipke comes on to attempt the PAT. Ashbeck the holder. Ball is down. Sully's kick is on the way. Long enough, and the kick is up and through. And our PAT, sponsored by Wheelers of Marshfield. Please make it a point to see them for an oil change every 3,000 miles.
From foster care. Just being there makes all the difference.
Sam Gershman is our producer this evening. With Dale Yukaitis, I'm Gene Delicio. Tigers kicking off once again. Our kickoff is service of Rail Transport of Marshfield. And the kick by Sully Lipke. A long line drive to the near sideline. Griffin lets this bounce around and go out of bounds inside the 10.
Yeah, the wind, instead of being more westerly now, has actually swung around. It seems to be more north than westerly, because the booth next door, they've got wind and rain blowing right straight in. We've got the windows shut tonight, rare occasion for us, but at least a little protection up here in the booth. That ball just blown out of bounds.
Looks like the Evergreens may want the Tigers to kick the ball again, which is their option. Normally teams take the ball at the 35-yard line or 40-yard line, but they do have the option of asking for a re-kick, and the Tigers will do that from the 35-yard line.
Well, figuring they'll kick from the 35, the deep backs, if you want to call them that, for Everest now, Griffin being one of them, line up at the 22-yard line, so they're hoping they can pick up at least 18 yards. They'd be back to the 40.
And of course, you get Griffin in the open field. He might go a long, long way further than that.
The big kick, but there's nothing to lose here, really. Tigers sprinting someone on kick coverage late. 10, yeah, they've got 11 out there now.
And Lipke getting set. And here's the kick, end over end towards the far side this time. And grabbed by Esser at the 20, across the 30 to the 31. And stopped right there.
Well, not a real long kick, but it was kicked high enough that it allowed Marshfield to get down and cover.
And Daniel Drock, the first man down there to make contact. Everest has not crossed the goal line tonight. They've kicked 2 field goals. That's their offense for the evening. And they trail 28-6 early in the fourth quarter.
Boy, we've seen this Marshfield defense improve game after game, Gene.
Yeah, boy, they've played very, very well the last couple of weeks, and looking real good tonight. Here's Griffin wide to the near side. Again, Dan Stanley picks him up. Split backfield behind Heller. He wants to pass. Quick slant to Stanley, to a Griffin, makes the catch. And then Stanley pulls him down right on the 40-yard line, gain of 9.
Yep, that's the main thing. Keep a guy like that under check.
Corey Griffin, a state 100-meter qualifier, averaging over 20 yards per catch. He had 1 catch for 43 yards and a touchdown against Wisconsin Rapids last week.
You know, they'll do the same thing sooner or later, too, rather than run him on a slant. Now he's limping heavily as he comes to the line of scrimmage. Out here with Joswiak.
2nd and 1 from the 40. Heller back to pass again. Rushed by Peterson. Throws across the middle. And Esser wide open to the 50. Carries inside the 45 to the 44. And Sully Lipke puts him down right there with help from Dan Knitsch. That's a first down for DCE Everest. And it looks like a Tiger player. That's Zillman, a bit slow getting up, but he says he's okay, although the Tigers now will rush Miles Langfeld in there to play at linebacker spot.
Zillman wobbly as he heads to the sideline.
16 yards on that pass play to Esser. I believe that's his first catch tonight. No, his second.
He caught 1 for 16 earlier.
So he now has 8 catches for the year. 1st and 10 Everest. At the Tiger 44, Griffin to the near side. Heller back to pass again. Rushed by Peterson. Hit as he throws. Throws deep down the near sideline. Incomplete. And Griffin was double teamed by Stanley and by Logan Schmidt. And they kept themselves between Griffin and the football. And that pass falls incomplete.
You know, one of the keys there, though, was the pass pressure that Heller wasn't able to really set himself and throw that ball well, because if he can even get that up in the air to that tall receiver, he could probably out-jump those a little bit shorter secondary people of Marshfield.
John Bogotke back in at nose tackle. That was Peterson with pressure. Trevor has 1 sack tonight, so does Alex Arndt. 2nd and 10 Evergreens at the Tiger 44. Heller wants to throw a big rush up the middle. The pass goes incomplete. A huge rush right up the middle by Sternweiss, and Heller just had to get rid of the football.
Again, those defensive linemen have one rule that they have to follow. You never let anybody come through your inside gap, and they let Sternweiss, with about a 5-yard head start, fly right up what's called the A gap between center and left guard. He had a clean shot, and Heller says, I'm just getting rid of this.
So a 3rd and 10 for DCE Everest at the Tiger 44-yard line. Tiger defense has been stellar once again tonight. Esser and Griffin both to the far side. Split backfield behind Luke Heller. And Heller back to pass again. Has time this time. Flings it far sideline. Tipped and almost intercepted. It's incomplete. Sully Lipke had that ball go through his hands at the 35-yard line as he was closer to the football than the receiver, Esser, on that play.
You know, and actually Heller on that play was backpedaling and threw as he was backpedaling, and there really wasn't a lot of pressure on him, so not mechanically very sound there.
Joe Rose on the punt, although now Heller, the quarterback, is the short snap, or the fullback here on the play, but they are kicking a high kick down the near sideline. Tigers get away, ball rolls inside the 10, inside the 5, and by an Everest player into the end zone.
Yep.
Tigers going to break there.
That ball should have been down inside the goal line as it bounced outside the 10-yard line, took another bounce, but an Everest player just kind of trailed it and made a last-second leap at the ball rather than running around to get on the other side of the football. Actually, I saw that in a college game in this past week where a team just let that ball roll in the end zone and the guy downed it 1 yard inside the goal line.
Now it's Tiger football on their own 20, 9:40 remaining. Tigers on top, 28-6. Steeman in the shotgun, hands the ball to Van Tassel to the outside, across the 20, across the 25, and forced out of bounds by Rose around the 26-yard line.
Yeah, and is Van Tassel hurt? He's down on the sidelines. You know, one of the things I don't like about this facility is they have a running track that's only about 3 yards, 4 yards outside the sidelines, and that's exactly where Van Tassel went down. Anybody that's coached over here or who's been over here, that's one of the things you fear. This is a very nice turf facility, but that running track is only just, it's not that far away from the field. And I've seen any number of times where players who've been thrown down on that track have gotten hurt seriously.
And it looks like Todd is still down there along the far sidelines.
There's several people huddled over him right now. Can't tell what they're looking at.
They have 9:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. Marshfield leads this ball game 28-6. Tigers have led virtually all the way. We're going to resume play now with one man in the backfield behind Ashbeck, and that's Dolezal looking for a hole. Not much there, but he'll fight his way to the 29-yard line.
Yep, good push there. Yep. He's going to be about a yard short, looks like, maybe a little less than a yard.
Gains 3 on the play. Brings up a 3rd and 1 for Marshfield at their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, Van Tassel's still down over there on that running track.
Tigers want to maintain possession, would like to convert right here. Dolezal, and it looks like Shoup at tailback here on 3rd and 1. Steeman at quarterback, long count. He'll take it himself and pick up the first down as he carries all the way to the 35. Actually gains 6 yards on a quarterback sneak.
Van Tassel is now up. He's being carried towards he has his arms around 2 of the Tiger trainers or coaches and being led over to the bench. Looks like he has some sort of a leg injury.
That'll be a tough break for the Tigers. 6 yards for Steeman on that carry. His 4th carry this year. He's rushed for -8 before that run. 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 35, 8:35 remaining. Tigers up 28-6. I backfield. Ashbeck gives to Shoup off the right side for about 3. Shoup in a tailback now. He may see both he and Tarnowski in that spot. Shoup gains 2 on that carry. 2nd and 8 for the Tigers at their own 37. Tigers will likely be quite conservative here, just run as much clock time as they can.
Well, we'll see. We've got Marshall coming in and Littman coming in as wide receivers.
Yep. 2nd and 8 for the Tigers at their own 37. Here's a pitch play to Tarnowski. He gets outside and is pulled down as he crosses the 40. Carries out to the 41, and Cody gains 4 more on that play.
Understand he's got pretty good speed. I haven't really had a chance to see him play much coming up through the levels, but I understand he's pretty quick.
Looks like he is. Rushed for 16 yards and a touchdown against Wausau West last week. 3rd and 4 for Marshfield at their own 41. Clock now down to 7:30 remaining. High backfield behind Ashbeck here. Elliott taking his time. Now turns and hands off to Tarnowski again. Runs into his own blocker and carries out near the first down marker. Good effort by Cody to get to near the 45-yard line.
Boy, did they give him a good spot.
And boy, they're very close. We'll see how the officials spot this. We could have a measurement here. It's either fourth and inches or a first down. Please remember you can see highlights of this ball game and all Tiger contests on allmarshfield.com. That's allmarshfield.com for Marshfield Tiger football highlights.
Well, you've hoped that TJ Van Tassel is okay on the sidelines. Of course, if you've joined us late tonight, Tigers without the services of a starting linebacker, Ross Hasselroth, who has a jaw injury, we understand, or some sort of a facial injury, and will be out for the season. A broken jaw, apparently. So they're down to one of their starters already.
Well, apparently the music department here at DCE Everest was short of CDs, so Coach Steffenhagen lended them some of his Pink Floyd CDs. Yeah. So good that Coach Steffenhagen could do that.
Pink Floyd. It's good to chuckle a little bit during a game over at Everest, isn't it?
Well, the Tigers are just shy of that first down marker. It's 4th and inches for Marshfield at their own 45. It appears the Tigers will go for it. Steeman back on the field. Wideouts on both sides. Dolzal and Tarnowski in the eye.
Hey, that nose man has been tough for Everest tonight. Oh, almost jumped.
Steeman taking his time. Long count.
Trying to get him to jump.
Very long count. Still counting down.
They're going to take the delay of game here. The official in the backfield is still not counting down yet. He's just waiting.
And now he does throw the flag, and delay of game called against Marshfield.
What we're chuckling at here is Steeman stood up a couple times and looked at the back judge like, are you going to throw the flag or not? Come on, how many times am I going to call hot, hot, hot? They're not going to jump.
Can't bend over that long.
No, going to soar back.
So the ball's back at the 40-yard line, 4th and 5, and Sully Lipke comes back in to punt the ball to Esser.
Game's not over. Let's not start laughing here too soon, I guess.
Low snap. Sully pulls it in. Drives one down the field to the near sideline. Bounces inside the 30, inside the 25. Esser gets away, and the ball rolls to the 18-yard line.
Esser's got to catch. You've got to catch a punt in the air, especially when you're behind. He just let it roll.
1st and 10 Evergreens at their own 18. 6.5 remaining. And the Tigers lead it 28-6.
I don't know when I've seen an Everest team make as many mistakes as they've had tonight. Guys not in the lineup on first down. They've had to take 2 timeouts because of that. I don't know.
And no touchdowns for DCE Everest, held tonight to only 2 field goals. 1st and 10 Evergreens at their own 18. Split backfield. Heller back to pass. Flings it far side to Esser. He takes a big hit and can't catch the football. Ball went by him. Then Dan Kinich unloaded on him, and the pass is incomplete.
Yeah, Esser didn't really want much of that throw. It was catchable, but he knew what was going to happen if he grabbed it. He got hit anyway.
2nd and 10 for DCE Everest at their own 18-yard line. Tiger defense has been superb again tonight. Esser to the far side. Griffin will join him over there. Split backfield. Joswiak is in the ballgame at running back. And Heller back to pass. Has time, throws far side, and through the hands of Esser, and almost intercepted by Lipke. The pass falls incomplete.
Everest has really tightened up their line splits right now, making it very tough for the linebackers for Marshfield to blitz through there. That time Sternweiss trying the blitz, and he got through the left guard center area and just ended up on top of people's shoulder pads. They're just making it very tough to get through any inside gaps right now. If they're going to blitz, they're going to have to come from the outside.
Miles Langfeld now playing the other linebacker spot.
See if Peterson,
Sternweiss.
See if Peterson can get there on one of these plays.
3rd and 10. Heller hands off to Myers. He gets hit in the backfield, and then he'll go down for a loss.
That's Peterson.
Peterson made the first contact, and then several other Tigers got there to pull him down. Langfeld was one of those players. I believe Mike Shara was there as well, and there'll be no gain on that play.
Statue of Liberty play. Quarterback goes back and then kind of stands there and hands the ball back to a guy coming around. My goodness.
Brad Dolezal back in deep safety. Here's the kick by Rose, angled to the near sideline. Bounces inside the 40, and Dolezal gets away. The ball rolls all the way inside the 25, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, maybe the 17.
Yeah, another situation where you let a punt roll. On the other hand, Dolezal has had some shaky moments back there fielding punts, and the Tigers are up by 22.
And that's a 65-yard punt by Joe Rose.
Yeah.
We saw a 72-yarder for Sully Lipke earlier this evening. Tigers up 28-6, 5:47 remaining in this one. And Marshfield puts the ball in play at their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, punters hoping they can punt with a win tonight. This will help their conference stats.
You bet it will. Be a big help tonight. Tiger offense back on the field. Putting the ball in play from the 17-yard line. Dolezal and Shoup in the eye behind Steeman. Steeman may be changing the play here, yelling out something to the far side.
6-man, 7-man line right now by Everest.
There's a pitch play to Shoup, getting outside with some room to the 20-yard line. Splits some tacklers, gets out to about the 26.
Yeah, good call there. Everest had jumped into a gap defense, almost a goal line type defense. It more or less turned out to be a 6-2 defense trying to stop the line of scrimmage. And a good audible there to try to get outside on the pitch play.
Gain of 9 for Josh Shoup. It brings up 2nd and 1 for Marshfield at their own 26-yard line. Tigers trying to nail this one down. They're up by 22. High backfield. Ashbeck at quarterback. Elliott will give to Shoup again. Straight ahead, gets a couple of yards, enough for the first down to the 29-yard line.
Shoup is a tough kid. He runs hard straight ahead. Probably doesn't possess the shiftiness of a TJ Van Tassel or maybe the first step quickness that Dolezal, but he's going to give you everything he's got in there. He'll run hard. He'll put his shoulder pads down.
1st and 10 Tigers at their own 28, 4:50 remaining. Tigers on top, 28-6.
By the way, it's Everest homecoming tonight.
Oh, good. Offset I backfield behind Steeman. Here's a pitch play. Tarnowski to the near side, cuts it back up. Not much there. He'll fight his way back to the line of scrimmage, but no further.
Receivers have to block. That time 2 receivers out here just kind of sidestepped Everest defenders, did not get blocks.
Gain of about a half a yard for Tarnowski, 2nd down. During our post-game report, we'll pass along our block of the game, sponsored by Sternweiss & Sons and their block division, 400 East Arnold Street in Marshfield. 2nd and 9 Tigers, just shy of their own 30-yard line, as we hit the 4-minute mark in this ball game. Tigers waiting for a play to come in, I believe. And I believe Coach Gadel, late sending in his quarterback, is just going to let the clock run down, I think, and take a timeout. Tigers milling around, and now here is a Tiger timeout. Marshfield's first timeout of the second half. 3:50 remaining in regulation time. The Tigers lead 28-6. We'll come back in just a moment.
Kids, here's my favorite animal. Strong, intelligent, ethical, dependable, compassionate, and patriotic. By the way, where's John?
Intelligent, strong, ethical, dependable, compassionate, and patriotic.
When you help your neighbors, you help your nation. Everyone can do something.
Visit us at usafreedomcorps.gov.
When I was senator, I did a lot
After that, I was able to orbit the Earth in a great big rocket ship.
2nd and 9 for the Tigers.
2nd and 9 Tigers from the 29-yard line. Here's a whistle as that play is snapped. And let's see what the officials have seen here.
We might get a procedure call on Marshfield.
sure the officials had set the ball. So they're going to...
Yeah, they just weren't ready to play, apparently.
Rule no play.
Well, it's the situation again. I was watching that timeout clock, and it was still at about 3 seconds on the timeout clock as they snapped the ball. I think that's the issue. The clock wasn't ready.
2nd and 9 Tigers, just shy of their own 30. I backfield. And a new quarterback in the ball game. Handoff goes straight ahead. This is Sean Curran at quarterback. And he gives off straight ahead, I think, to Tarnowski, who runs out to about the 31. Sean Curran at quarterback. Tarnowski for 2. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Tigers.
Tigers rushing a lot of people out there right now. Let's see if we can get some names in here. Brennan Smith out there on the field for the Tigers. We'll get some more as we go along here.
Dan Bargander coming out wide to the near side. Curran at quarterback on 3rd and 7. Pitch play, Tarnowski to the outside. Gets hit at the 33, falls forward for 1 more. But he'll be about 5 yards shy of the first down marker. 4th and 5 for Marshfield at their own 34 with under 3 minutes to play. And Sully Lipke comes back into punt to Brent Esser. So, don't often empty the bench against DCE Everest, but the Tigers doing that tonight. Esser back in deep safety inside his 40-yard line. And Lipke will punt the ball away. He's taking as much time as possible.
Yeah, they're waiting for the back judge. Here he goes. Last 5 seconds count. Now he'll snap it.
Low snap, but Sully digs out a ground ball and kicks it away to the near sideline. Bounces inside the 40. Picked up by Esser on the bounce. He carries out to the 45 and is gang tackled right there. And the ball may be loose. I think the Tigers have the ball.
Stanley, I think, took the football away from the return man. Yes, he did.
Dan Stanley on the recovery. He just took the ball away from Esser. And the Tigers with their second takeaway of the night. And they have the ball back at the DCE Everest 44-yard line.
Well, we saw Esser shy away from a possible couple catches in the last series. Also, balls thrown to him. He had alligator arms and pulled up a little short. Balls he could have caught.
So the Tiger offense right back on the field, led by junior quarterback Sean Curran. 1st and 10 Tigers at the Everest 44 with 2:15 remaining. Curran hands to Tarnowski straight ahead inside the 40 to 39-yard line.
Good push again by the offensive line by Marshfield. Let's see who's out there, though.
Ben Satter's out there playing one of the tackles. Now he's leaving the ball game.
Stuart Rhodes was in on the last play. He's coming out now. Shoop coming back in as a running back.
Jordan Scheckelman playing one of the tight end spots out there. Josh Hennis is in the ball game as well.
2nd and 6 for the Tigers.
2nd and about 6 for Marshfield at the 39-yard line. Josh Shoop straight ahead, breaks a few tackles, and carries to near the 35-yard line. And Shoop about 1 yard shy of the first down marker with that run.
Tigers shuffling a lot of guys in and out. Here comes Cody Podevels in to get some playing time in the line.
Brandon Brown was in the ball game in the backfield. I think Austin Littman's coming in now.
Littman checks back in.
Tigers from the Evergreen just over the 35-yard line.
Nathan Korleski, a tight end, is playing fullback, I believe.
Alec Myers at a tackle.
Here's Shoop off tackle for a few yards inside the 35 to the 33.
That should get the first down.
Yep, that'll be the first down for Marshfield. And that should wrap things up. Final minute of play, and the Tigers up by 22.
41, Jordan Higginbusher.
Boy, Wisconsin Rapids coming off a pretty good performance against highly rated Wisconsin, or DCE Everest coming off a nice performance against Rapids last week, even though they lost that ball game. But pounded Wausau East the week before. I'm sure they had some pretty good confidence coming into this ball game. But
you know, the team that's lurking out there that's been playing really well, and that's Merrill.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that'll be tough. They get Rapids tomorrow afternoon. Tigers need to run one more play. Curran takes a knee with 25 seconds left. And this ball game will come to an end tonight. Please stay with us. Our post-game show this evening, sponsored by Hudson's Classic Grill. Next to the tracks on Central Avenue in Marshfield, the sports fans' post-game discussion destination. Marshfield Tigers will leave here with their second consecutive win over DCE Everest. And Coach Stephen Hagan thanking the officials coming across the field to shake hands with Coach Denny Gadel as well. Our final score this evening, a service of the Sports Den on South Central Avenue in Marshfield. Marshfield 28, DCE Everest 6. We'll have a full recap on our post-game report in just a moment.